do that. And the kid has a temper tantrum, starts crying and screaming. Jennifer's standing behind the child, looking at her father, going, shh, 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 shh. Dad, we don't say the N-word. Robert and I are thinking, what's the N-word? What do you mean we don't say the N-word? So the kid calms down. Grandpa and the kid go outside, and the kid's tearing off leaves off the plant. Grandpa says, no, don't do that. Jennifer comes out and says, Dad, we don't say the N-word. The N-word is no. We don't tell the child no. Now, Jennifer is trying to change her father's behavior. I've been trying to do that for a long time. Instead of her child's behavior. You see, we've grown up with this idea that we don't have to tell the children no. We've grown up with the idea that we want to be their friends. Everybody wants to be their friend with their child. You're not their friend, you're their parent. You are their conscience. The child doesn't know the difference between right and wrong. We do. That's why we're their parent. It's very important for us to make the distinguishing line between this is them, this is you. And they are going to do everything they can to break you down. Children are very strong. I have to tell you this beautiful spiritual story that I read in a book. It's Swami Rama's life. And when he was a young boy, his name was Bole. And he had a sage, an ancient sage, who was his teacher. And so they were going down to the river to bathe in the morning and then say their prayers. As they were walking by, down the street, they seen a sweet shop. Ah, Bole wanted a sweet. The sage says, no, you can have a sweet. After we go to the river, bathe and say our prayers, then you may have your sweet. The child had a temper tantrum. Screaming, crying, yelling, carrying on. The sage is very wise. He went and sat beside the road. But the proprietor couldn't stand the kid making so much noise outside his shop. He's driving away business, so he comes out with a sweet. The sage says, no, we don't take this sweet. He repeats, you can have a sweet. After we go down to the river and bathe, say our prayers, then you can have a sweet. Child's still crying. Now the child's smart. A truck is coming, so the child lays in the middle of the road. The child's laying in the middle of the road. Oh, I'm going to get it now, thinks this child. I'll scream, yell, and carry on. He'll do something. The truck stops. Truck driver rolls down his window. He says, get this kid out of the middle of the road. The ancient sage says, just run right over him. Good, huh? Good? Isn't that good? Huh? It's so important that you realize your role. And you are a parent. And that's how much determination a child has, and they're going to fight you every inch of the way. My kids used to say, Mother, you're so old-fashioned. Have you ever heard that one? And you know what I'd say? Oh, yeah. And if old-fashioned means good morality, you better believe it. You better believe it. You got to be strong. Don't let them whittle you down. You want good children. You got to mold their character, and it takes firmness. It takes strength of character on yourself. And don't let them get by with the stuff. Just because everybody else in town is doing it, they don't have to do it. Spend more time together. Do chores together. I said to my mother one day, just once, I'm bored. Oh, wonderful, she says. Here's a bucket of water and a rag. You go wash all the windows in the house. Do you think I ever got bored again? Huh? You got to get creative. You got to get creative. We did a session today called Back Talk in our workshop. And it's quite interesting. And I'm only going to give you a little tip about it. We speak so much and we talk so much that our children don't listen because of the media. My kids would play the mute button on the control. I'd talk and they go, there she goes again. And they didn't listen. We've gone through 50 years in America of psychologists telling us we must explain why we're doing things so our children understand, communicate, and talk to them. And so that's what we've been doing, talking. But they're not doing, and we're not putting any restrictions or no discipline, no limits, so the house has fallen down. The house of Harmony House has fallen down of human values. It is so important. Don't talk. If you've explained to your child that I want you to clean your bedroom this weekend, it's your job to clean it and pick it up. It's on a Saturday or on a Sunday. They didn't do it. Monday comes and the kid wants to go to a soccer game. You're not taking them. You're sitting in the bathtub enjoying a nice warm bath with the music on. Not until that child comes to you and says, why aren't you taking me to the soccer game? Now they may be ready to listen. And then you say, did you do as I asked you to do? Did you clean the room? No. So I'm not doing this. Let their laundry pile up. Don't make dinner. I don't care what it does. Give them an action. If you give them an action, they will learn and start thinking about, why is mom and dad acting like this? And when they get ready to find out, that's the time for us to talk.
Let me do a couple really quick things. Okay, whoops.
There's a lot to this parenting, isn't there?
There's a simple thing that you can start with called house rules. And you can break an activity up into different things, and you can have a prayer or homework or quiet time, depending on the age of the child. Don't try to do it all at once. Start out with one little thing. But always have a consequence. If the child doesn't do it, that's a reasonable consequence. If he doesn't go to bed at 8:30, like he's supposed to, or 9 o'clock, the next day he goes to bed 15 minutes earlier. We want to start getting them with self-esteem because they know they have worth. Their thought, word, and deed mean something, and that builds up their self-esteem, the same as it does ours. If I look at you in the eyes and say, I will do this, and I don't do it, do I have self-esteem? Billy, I will meet you at 7:30 and we will go do the soup kitchen. If you're there at 7:30, I don't show up, what kind of self-esteem do I have? I don't have, I lose it. Okay? Thought, word, and deed. It's so important for us, but it's critical that we keep this going for our children.
Don't go through the contract. We don't have time.
I got to mention it. I got to admit. Okay. I got to do this one.
This one.
Yeah. Okay. This is one of the simplest things we can do, especially as our children get a little older, to save us from going totally crazy. It's called a contract, and I know it works because we've been in sessions where we've been told by people that this is the same thing a doctor gave their kids to save their family from going crazy. It's thought.
Start with the word.
Okay, it's word. I will bring the car home at 12 o'clock tonight. Okay? That's what I'm going to do.
Child's name.
Oh, his child's name.
Child's name's at the top.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Whatever your child's name is at the top, that's his word, agrees to bring